Hello and welcome to the fourth episode of Digi India Squad. This is the M&M girls. That's Manasi and Monica. Hi, Monica.
Hey, hi, how are you doing?
Good, good, good. How's it going?
All good. Just waiting for
Nice.
the pandemic to get over.
Yes, that's a very good dream to have.
Hmm.
Considering the way we are leading our lives, it's a very good dream to have. Okay, all right. So we had a phenomenal response when it came to content, which we did last episode, and I think I loved it. I have enjoyed it, and I want to take this a little further. This episode, that's what Monica and myself were thinking. We're going to move this a little further, one step further. Last time we did content in terms of content ideas. How do we start generating content ideas? And this time we're going to cover content for social media exclusively. So we're going to go through a couple of brands on social media and how they have fared. And we're going to see if that fits SMBs. Whoa, okay, hold on. Monica has something to say. Yes, please.
Yeah, we are also going to cover content from the search engine perspective.
Perfect.
Both.
Right. So basically, a digital presence of the brand itself. What has
Yes.
worked and what has not worked. Right. Okay, great. So let's
Yeah.
let's start off. And before that, I just want to tell people who are watching that this is a fortnightly episode that we do. So if you have questions, just ask us because we have got enough time to actually research and come back to you. One with explanation, two with examples, three more like suggestions for your own business. So that we can do. We've got plenty of time. So this is a fortnightly show, and I'm glad you guys are watching it. Okay, let's start, Monica. Let's start with this.
All right. So the reason we wanted to do this is that while you do have the content ideas, and I'm sure that if you watch the last episode, you will find many you'll be able to relate to it to your brand and be able to come up with a calendar actually for yourself, because if you really start following those steps, it's easy to generate these ideas and to hone down on how you want to cover a particular topic. So we wanted to cover a few brands who have been doing a good job. Some have not been doing that great a job, but what we really wanted to bring out here in this episode is to give you an idea also on how the post is being analyzed and how important it is to come up with content and to present it from a customer's perspective. The customer has to find it engaging. We have this acronym for content, right? RITE, RITE, which is relevant, interesting, timely, and entertaining or engaging, right? So how do we make our content like that? So I want to start with an example of an online payroll service that I found while I was researching, and I really liked their brand presence. Uh, and the brand presence is uniform across their social media as well. So when I say brand presence, what do I mean? Like what kind, how do people uh, perceive you, perceive your brand, right? Is it a fun brand? Is it an organization that stands up for social issues? Is it a bold brand? Is it, a traditional one? Does it have a legacy? What does it really mean to your customers? So let's have a look at that. So I'm going to give you a small demo. We'll just go online and, we'll just go on to Google. So I will. So at the top here, you see the ads, right? So we're not going to cover the ads at this time. We are just going to look at the organic results. So this is the first product that is coming up here. And the first thing I'd like you to note is how they have given the title of this homepage. Full service, online payroll services for small business. So one, they are defining who they are for. So if you are an enterprise, then this is not something that you would be looking at. So it's a good way of qualifying your audience. Then full service, as in it's an end-to-end solution, right? So, and if I click on this and open up the website, one good thing that I noticed was that it comes up very fast. And I went and checked their performance, the speed performance, and the page comes up in 1.4 seconds, which is very good. Okay, so now have a look at how this page has been presented. They're using a small video here, okay, where they tell you how Gusto works. And look at the tagline here: payroll that's easy to use and seriously smart. Very simple. I love the simplicity of the whole website. In fact, that was something which really stood out for me. So if you check it out, there is a person here who is walking. They use a lot of graphics, and if you go down, they've just got a few important features of important benefits of their product, right? And then they have how it works. Here again, they've used a small video which walks you through the basic steps. Again, a very good way. So especially in SaaS solutions or software solutions that are complex, right? If we give a demo like this, it really makes it easy. It's helpful for the reader to understand a feature which could be complex, because when you show it through their dashboard, and it also creates a familiarity with their dashboard, which they will ultimately open if they register for a trial or something like that, right? So, and then you go further down and they've given you certain stats. And the reason why we give these stats is to build credibility, to make people believe that yes, so many organizations are already trusting us, so many customers are already trusting us with their payroll, right? Which is why we want to include such information. So if you are a startup, you don't go launch your organization without some test cases, right? You roll out your product first and make sure that it has traction in the market. You will have a few set of customers. So your initial request from them should be that you at least get testimonials and references and a genuine feedback on their experience with your product. And that will help you find out what is more important from the customer's perspective. Because when we create something, it becomes our baby and we look at it completely, like a mother, not looking at the negative aspects of it. So, and that's very normal. So it's very important to get an outside perspective and understand how our customers are perceiving the product, where do they see the gaps, where we can improve. And that's ultimately how we go ahead and continue improve our products or services. So, and then again, they have another feature, and just look at their headlines, very simple headlines. They have not tried to forcefully include a keyword. This is one thing which I very often get into a tussle, with many customers, is because sometimes when they understand SEO, they feel, okay, I know what SEO is, and it is about the keyword placement, and it means you should have your keyword in as many places as possible on your page. SEO is meant to bring your content up on the search engine, yes, but the content is meant for your customers, your readers. If you do not create your content in such a way that the text and the images or whatever you have put up is appealing to them, if it looks forced simply because you wanted to bring in a keyword, it is not going to work. Ultimately, you want these people, you want people who visit your website to take a step forward in the buyer's journey and go nearer a conversion. If your content is not going to be, if your content looks like this really rehashed kind of, a forced kind of text, that itself is going to put somebody off, and they are never visiting your website again, right? So it's very important that you don't create that impression. You have to remember, SEO, when we talk about SEO, we are doing it for people. We are not doing it for the search engine, right? It's
I
very
think you
important
should say that
to
again.
understand.
You should say that again, Monica, because I have seen SEO members where, see, if you give it to the content writers who are looking into SEO, they will just ask you for the top 5 keywords, and whether it is relevant or not, put it in the first line Put it in the last line of the first paragraph, put it in the first line of the last paragraph, and the last paragraph. Simple. And in
Yeah,
between,
yeah,
some 2, 3 times, just put it there. Whether it is relevant or not, whether that sentence even makes sense or not is secondary. Okay, I've seen that happen.
yeah.
And then this goes to the title. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I don't understand why people find it so difficult to optimize content the way it needs to be, especially because, I mean, they think that the search engines have algorithms that are stupid, that they can't make out that these are forcefully
Yeah.
kept keywords. While Google is like, 10 steps ahead, the moment you start stuffing those keywords like that, they know that you're desperate and they know this could not be genuine content. See, when are you desperate? Only when you have a content that doesn't work, right? You desperately want to make things come up, because there are so many other things that the search engine algorithm looks at to
Yeah, there are
rate your content.
1500
Exactly,
factors involved, right? So we
exactly,
know very few of them.
exactly. So
And now
considering
with,
that,
yeah,
it's like, you should not be, keywords is not a thing anymore. I'm sorry to say this, but keywords is not a thing anymore. It is not priority. Just write your content. Okay, and
yeah.
I
So,
love the page that you're showing, because I think from the sales point of view, if you look at that, like awareness and then consideration, I think
hmm,
they have considered that while putting this content together. It's really beautiful. Okay, they talk about, first you go, they talk about the impact. Like, you use our product, how awesome are you going to be? Okay, and then they
hmm.
look at, consideration. So that is when you want to like think of what is the product. So it's very beautifully put, actually.
Yeah, yeah. So that's what I really wanted to show this, because if you further go down, they're talking about an integrated platform and then putting it. See, integrated platform is a keyword kind of term, and it will be well understood by the people, because ultimately a product is going to be evaluated by a number of functions, right? From the IT perspective, the business user, the finance people, everybody is going to look at it, and you have included that. But see what they have highlighted, and how you put the content, the size of your content, the colors, everything actually makes a difference, right? The thing that occupies the most screen space is the thing that has the highest priority. Okay, so here if you see, the headline here is everything you need synced with payroll. Very simple to understand, right? If they had just written integrated platform and left it at that, now for a business user it's a little more difficult to understand. An IT person may perhaps gauge it, but something like this, everything you need sync with payroll, is something everybody understands irrespective of their function, and that is important, right? That is how your website should be, because your website is a starting point. You don't have to close everything on the website. And in B2B products, anyway, nothing closes on the website level. Obviously, face-to-face interactions, and it's a long sales process, right? So it doesn't work like that. So it's important that at this level, you think of getting your message across and helping people understand the beauty of your product, the simplicity of your product. Because when they go to the pricing, they need to be convinced that your product is worth it, right? So if you're not able to convey that, then they will think that, okay, what's different about this? When they see the price, it's like, why are they charging so much? I can get another product at a lower cost. So your website and the content on your website should be able to sell it in such a way, without being salesy. It's a challenging task, which is why we hire experienced content writers to do these things, right? That's the difference. When you see somebody whom you just want to pay a little bit of money and just get the content up, and when you hire somebody with experience who puts that thought in and understands it from that perspective and then creates that content. Okay, so this is, so as we go down, they've talked about compliance, all the important aspects that are on top of mind when somebody wants to when somebody is evaluating a payroll service, right? So everything is there, and then they have included testimonials. Again, this helps in building credibility. It helps a prospective customer also look at, okay, who are the, and also making sure that having testimonials today with images and the names and the organizations adds that extra level of confidence. So just including, earlier we used to see testimonials with just the text and some name, but we really don't know who that person is, and for all we know, you could have written it out yourself. So giving this adds that authenticity, that belief, that, okay, this is somebody who works in this organization. It builds that trust. And then workers' compensation, they're talking about other features of the product, customer support, elements that are important to the purchase process. You want to work with an organization that is going to be there for you, that will have your back, right? Then including a testimonial with the image of a customer, even better. Then employee friendly, less work for you, and they've given these screenshots, nice screenshots. Then want to get into the details, so they take you down further, and for each of these they have a link which will take you to the page within the website which will walk you through these features. So this is for the IT managers and the decision makers there who really want to get into the, or your payroll managers who want to get into the details, right? So they've not thrown it all, not understanding, not differentiating between the audience segments, right? So here you can go further and you can look at the features if you're interested. So much more than payroll. See, there's such a sweet way of describing it. I found this very nice, the people platform. I really liked it. And how much thought would have gone into it before they would have finalized on this. So these are small things that you pay content writers for, guys.
Think about it again and again and again. It's
Yeah.
not about a per word basis. It is not about 2,000 word article that needs to be done for SEO purposes. No, it's not.
Yeah. It's like, I really feel content writers are so badly paid and misjudged still in India. That is an area I really wish that would improve.
I think it is. I mean, what I see is right now the brands, especially the classic ones, when they want to move online, especially the pandemic times when they have wanted to move online, they do realize that content is everything. Okay, and they're very careful about the kind of creatives they use, even the shades, the brand shades, or the colors, the layout, everything that they use, and they're conscious not to use the same thing across social media platforms, because they understand that Twitter has a very different way of portraying things compared to an Instagram or a Facebook or a LinkedIn for that matter. So I think slowly they are moving to the phase, because the more we see that in the long term, because social media has been there for the last 10 years now. Okay, now brands are maturing into it. So the early adopters have realized that they have to put in that efforts. They have to understand the kind of customers who are there, and they have to relate. And engagement is everything today. So I think slowly they are definitely moving to a phase where SEO is not about keywords anymore. Content writing is not a per word basis anymore. It's about how you engage with your customers. And I think, I mean, who knows it better than you, Monica? When it comes to engagement and content development, the amount of work you put in for that, even that small little half page that people expect from you as a client.
Yeah.
I've seen you work really hard for that.
Yeah, so that's what I while it has changed, I still feel that on the content side, people can see if they. It's like there is a, if they see it on social media somehow, they're seeing some engagement and all of that, they can understand that, okay, it's making an impact. But when it comes to content, because content sometimes doesn't give you that immediate kind of thing, and even now we don't have those kind of tools where you can really say that, okay, this specific thing would have actually made that much of an impact. For example, a certain line that you have really spent 2-3 hours breaking your head over, that line becomes a memorable thing. I mean, it takes time for these things to show, or until I remember working for an organization where worked really hard on the content and it came up very well. So our internal marketing director, everyone was happy, but our CEO wasn't. Till a customer came back and said that you have a great website and I love the content. And that was the time when, he came to us and said, that we got some appreciation on the website. And that is what it took for him to understand that it was good content. So it happens, yeah.
Happens all the time in industry, happens all the time.
Yeah. One more thing that I wanted to share about this website was that I checked out see, look at, usually the footer is a place where, you know, people don't pay a lot of attention, but a footer is often the place where the organization places links that it doesn't want to place in its main menu, because then it becomes too much, but it places the links that are like, you can almost think of them as shortcuts, right? So to the more prominent content, or something which they have observed through their analytics is more popular with the readers of their, with the visitors of their website. So if you see, they've got really, I like that they have, you know, included the time tracking tools, the 401k plans, the college saving plans, all of these kind of things, so that and under resources, so they have a very um, healthy footer, I would say. It's like, I like that.
I think they've
So
listened, right? I think they have listened
yeah,
very
yeah,
intently to their customers, and they have taken time, they've taken the pains, they put in the efforts to
yeah,
exactly ask what the customer needs and ensure that those things are very neatly lined up.
yeah. So for example, repeating the talk to support and including the link for the sign in at the footer level. Usually you'll just see it, you know, in the middle somewhere, or
Or
often
in the
at the
header,
header, but
yeah.
they've done it, but you know, so I like that. And if I go into the internal pages also, I see a similar kind of structure being followed. It's uniform. They've used the same kind of thematics and the graphics and all of that. I just wanted to quickly also show you the, okay, some of their social media. So let me show you their Instagram page. So I'm going to leave more of the social media to Mansi, but I just wanted to show you their Instagram page, right? So here also, I see that they've used slightly. So it's not like they've used exactly what they've got on Facebook here. They are using the same kind of topics, but the presentation is different. So making sure, and if you just have a look, if I'm just browsing through this, if I'm just scrolling down, there is a feeling you get about a brand, right? What it presents, and you can say that it's all about being helpful to customers. It's cheerful, and see that they've used complementary colors. They've stuck to the colors of their logo and their whole brand design. So yeah, so this is a very uniform kind of. I mean, it sets an expectation. So, and they've used different highlights here. So on tax relief, for top SMB, racial justice, the things that they stand for, all of that has also been included here, right? So, so being a little thoughtful, that's the thing, just being a little thoughtful about your brand makes a world of difference. And that will happen if you're listening to customers and if you are very carefully honing your content. Yeah. So over to you, Mansi. You can take the next one.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, great. All right. So I think so far we've looked at what is the brand presence and how things have moved. Um, what I want to look at is start with some basic stuff. I think Monica and myself were discussing, like, how do you even make it a brand, right? Right now, we are all small little businesses. Like, for example, we are talking about generally what happens when people go, if you go to the tier 2, tier 3 cities where brands have made their mark. Okay, they say, "Ek Coca-Cola dena," and then "Kaun sa wala Coca-Cola." So it's not, it's here, it's like, oh, Diet Coke and all that.
Yeah.
Wahan pe it's like "Ek Limca," or, "Ek Pepsi." So those brands have kind of become so synonymous with the product, right? What are the other examples we can think of, Monica, on this?
Yeah. So for example, Maggie.
Ha,
So they'll go
Maggie
for a
dinner.
Maggie, the top ramen Maggie. Or the cup of noodle Maggie,
Yes,
because it becomes synonymous with noodles.
yes,
And you have people going and asking for the white surf or the green surf, because surf has become synonymous with detergent.
of
So
course.
yeah, and a toothpaste like Colgate.
Ha, I've seen this happen
So
right in front of me. In my native, it's like, "Bhaiya ek Colgate dena," and then they're like, "Kaun sa wala Colgate?" Wo Pepsodent wala.
Hmm.
So
So
it's
yeah, I mean that's the impact, and many of these brands are really old.
very, very old. No, you won't
Yeah,
believe it. I have a lot of people who do not know that, let it get it Xeroxed. I'm like, Xeroxed?
yeah,
Xerox is a brand. The term is photocopying. Okay, let's get it photocopied. That's
exactly.
what we need to
Yeah,
say, and
yeah.
then let's get it Xerox. Xerox is a brand.
And it's and the biggest example, Google,
Yes, let's Google it. Yes.
right?
Yeah, there's nothing called
So
let's search it. Let's Google it.
yeah,
It's
so
really
these have just
beautiful.
become. Hmm.
Okay, so if you
Yeah.
look at and if you map the journeys that they've had, see, one is of course they've got the first mover advantage. As you said, these brands have been
Hmm.
here for so long that they've become synonymous with their products. Completely agreed on that. And for those of them who have come a little later, I think the only difference between them and the other brands who are yet to make a mark or become synonymous with the product is they have listened to their customers. I think that's the single most important thing, that they have actually listened to their customers, and they have been with them far too long to make themselves synonymous. Okay,
Hmm.
and they have also ensured that they have not communicated for sales as such. I've seen a lot of brands where we ask them, okay, you want to be on social media, why? Sales. So that will take 2 years. If you have not been on social media and if you do not have a strong product, you're just entering. It will take 2 years for you to get there. There's a whole bunch of things that need to be done, and there's a funnel to it, right? Like,
Yeah.
you first create awareness, and then I just keep giving this examples, right? Like, when you go and you want to buy a product, okay, you're aware that there's a product, okay, and when you go and you go to a supermarket and you want to buy it, the question is, will you remember that product when you want to buy it? Will you remember the name of the brand when you want to buy it? Like, all of us know
Hmm.
Patanjali is there, right? But when you go there and you see a Colgate and a Pepsodent and something new, okay, will you remember that will you recall enough that there's a Patanjali and you have to ask for it? Okay, so the
Hmm.
question is the communication strong enough for people to be aware and to recall when they're actually considering a purchase? So these are two things that need to happen, and your brand needs to be like really strong enough for them to remember this. Like a birthday
Hmm.
cake, when you want to buy a birthday cake, you will definitely go surf online, but then will you remember a cake wala, a good bread, a French loaf? Will you remember these brands when you actually want to buy things? So with
Yeah.
that, I think,
Very true.
yeah, yeah. So I think with that, I want to like start off with social media examples that we've had. So let me just share my screen. Um, Monica, you'll have to tell me if my screen is shared.
Yes.
Yes, can you
It's
see?
done.
Okay, so you can see that there is Pentos. Okay, now Pentos is a technology company. They're from Texas. Okay, they look at new business ideas and they look at development of apps. But look at the kind of content that is there. Okay, if you start looking at the kind of content that is there, too poor to start a business. The world's largest package delivery company was founded by two teenagers with a bicycle and $100 borrowed from a friend. I mean, it's really some very interesting content, inspired content. Okay, but look at this. I mean, look at the description. It says get a website or iPhone app or Android app just for $500. Okay, and look at the amount of followers they have. Okay,
Hmm.
very, very interesting content, extremely interesting content.
Hmm.
Okay, it does appeal, it does appeal. Don't compare one girl with another. Every girl is beautiful in their own way. So they
Yeah.
address what is happening in the system right now. Okay, don't hurt anyone. It only takes few seconds to hurt people you love, and it takes years to heal. Okay, and today what we are seeing is just images. They've moved to images only now. Otherwise, you've got a lot of videos that they put up of some really interesting products which has nothing to do with their website or app development. Okay, now Monica, my question to you is, do you think this kind of content really works? Because it has zero relevance to a website or an app development, right? So what is your opinion on such content?
See, I think that it depends on the situation. being sensitive to the current time.
Mm-hmm.
And so what they are trying to do, if I think about it, if I just look at this, it's like, supporting people through this period, inspiring them, motivating them, which is a need of the current time. And I think it's a very bold thing to do for the marketing team, because many times you can be told that, no, you must still continue marketing your product, even though we know that at this current time, people may not be in that mindset where they are going to invest in a certain thing in a certain way or whatever. So to change that and to do that on a platform like LinkedIn, and if you see on these posts also, they have a fair amount of engagement. Not, I wouldn't say it's like a huge considering the number of followers, but it's okay. At this time, it is okay, right? So, and I don't know what kind of content they do on a regular basis otherwise. Yeah. So, for example, if you just go back to that one particular post which you showed, no, the kids talking about the programming one, you can just scroll up to that. Yeah, this one. So when you finally understand something in programming, now this is something which is related to technology. And this is something that a tech geek would kind of understand. It would relate to him, and it is like that. I mean, it's actually like this kind of, the people who love code and all of that. I mean, you can understand this, that it's like, it's amazing when you solve something and, your code works and you are able to do what you were. It is like that. So connecting with different types of people who would be coming to your page. See, this is audience segmentation. Everybody is feeling down in the dumps. That is for sure, irrespective of who you are. There are people who are suffering far worse than that, I agree. But at the same time, all of us are affected. And all of us are facing, while we are doing everything to keep ourselves motivated, we are having our highs and lows and all of that. So this is a good way of kind of dealing with that and helping people relate with it. Then, so that was like, everybody's prayer. So bringing that out, I think it's nice to do, it's good to do. And to do it with a mixed kind of approach, right? It's not like they're exclusively doing that. They're also doing other things which are relevant to their primary audience. And if you really look at your followers are not always following you for the sake of your product or service. They are not.
Yes.
If you think your product or service is so hot and that everybody there is like in love with your product or service, that is really not true on the social media sphere.
So I have loved their content, but I've never seen it. Whether pandemic or not, this is the kind of content they've always used. Always. By default.
I can so connect with this. I can think back of my, my coding days, and when this is so infuriating, when you get an error and you think the damn thing isn't even there.
So this definitely puts a smile on my face all the time. Not once, twice, but all the time. And it's really beautiful how they have said things. Some are inspirational, very less educational as such, but they do put up those posts. There's a great mix. I mean, I love them. Okay, so Pentos is one. Then I think, let me look at this. Okay, so this is something that Amul did. I totally love this. So if you look at this packaging, okay, this happened during the pandemic. I think March 24th or 25th or something like that. Okay, or probably May. This looks like a normal thing, but if you look at it, there's this small little icon which has an ice cream on it. Okay, okay. So I love this. I mean, like, let's look at this. When you look at the packaging of the milk that you're buying, okay, two times. One is when you're buying it, very clearly, okay? And when you're buying it, and if you see an icon like this, you're thinking that, oh, something is free. And then when you go like really closer, it says you can also try. Okay, it's very beautifully done. I mean, I have loved this packaging, so I thought I should bring this up. So this is one concept
very nicely, smartly thought.
Yes, and also remember, this is the only time when we have used soap and actually washed our milk packets over and over again before using it, right? So that's also the time when you look at the packaging and you're like, hey, what's the ice cream thing doing here? So I think that's a great way. I think they've done really well of putting this together, like this really small little icon here. So Amal has always done some really good stuff, always. Okay, and I
Yeah,
think those
Amul
were the
does
only
good stuff.
ones. Yeah, and there's those were the only ones. This was the probably, I mean, of what I have seen, who continue to keep their social media engaged, who continue to spend big times on advertising. I think this is one brand that I have always loved, because they have always listened to the customer and given us what we want, and very creatively.
Mm.
Okay. Then another
Mm.
thing that I came across is, remember, I think a couple of years ago, 2012 is what it says. Um, I don't know. I'm just going to play this. Remember that, if you look at the Avengers movie or any of those Hollywood kind of movies, you will never see a person who's a shady character who we consider is wrong or bad can never use an iPhone. Did you know about this? Apple
Mhm.
has, yeah, Apple has made it mandatory, and they have, I mean, very subtly, okay? You will never see the wrong character or the villain in our case, okay, that's what we call them. They cannot use an Apple product. That's very clear,
Oh,
okay?
I
And
didn't know that. That's an
yes,
interesting thing.
yes, okay. I think 2012 or so, this was made, okay? But then this talks about this company. Okay, this is the car company. If I play this, do you think you'll be able to see this? Okay, I'm just going to play this. Let me know.
Yeah, let's see. We can't hear very well.
So there you go. No, every single filmmaker who has a bad guy in their movie, it's supposed to be a secret, wants to murder me right now.
Have you ever noticed how in Hollywood movies all the villains are played by Brits?
Maybe we just sound right.
Do you think so?
Thank you, Mary.
We're more focused, more precise,
We're always one step ahead.
with a certain style, an eye for detail. And we're obsessed by power. Stiff upper lip is key.
We all drive Jaguars.
Oh, yes. It's good to be bad.
So if you look at this ad, while you've got Apple on one side, it says that the characters on the other side are not supposed to be using their product, and I don't know if it's legal or not legal, or I don't know if they have things like that. But you've got Jaguar, you've got all the people on the other side, the heroes on the other side who have actually done this ad. So yes, these are things that we need to take, two different dimensions of the same thing. Makes us think. I mean, I understand the colors, I understand the layout, I understand the way the messaging needs to be done, but you've got two very, I mean, leading ones, right? These are leading brands like Apple and Jaguar, leading brands who have taken up two sides. So this makes me think, this kind of advertising or this kind of content makes me think on how people are trying to portray things, and how they have given it a twist. uh, I mean, if you look at it, you've got a chopper where he's sitting there with the doors open, and you've got the other person actually driving where you're trying to overtake, and you're doing it where he overtakes a bus. Okay, you're not even seeing what's. So these are things that are coming up, and it's like phenomenal. Okay, do you have something to say on this, Monica?
No, because I actually didn't follow through the video very well.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. So I'm just going to put this together. So one, you've got Apple, where you've got the director talking about how Apple products cannot be used by the villains, and on the other side, you've got Jaguar as an advertisement where you've got only the villains in the advertisement, where all the three villains come together, and it's all to do with Jaguar. So
I see.
yes, yeah.
Okay.
So that's how they have put it together. So that's one example that I can look at. Oh, this was a big thing. Now look at this. Okay, this is Scotch Brite. Okay, this is a regular
Mhm.
Scotch Brite. Okay. Now what happened was there is this communication strategy consultant, Karthik Srinivasan, and he had a friend who brought this up and said, "Have you looked at Scotch Brite?" Now Scotch Brite has this little lady here, right? Can you see it? In the vector? So this vector uses lady, and there is a bindi.
Okay.
Okay. So this is what came up, and it was a small line which said that Scotch Brite has a lady, and it's time that we moved away where it's not just about the ladies, right? It's work cannot be about ladies anymore. So we've seen plenty of brands do this. Okay, so when this was brought up on a post, you actually had one of their brand people respond. Let me see. Okay, so here is Atul Mathur. Okay, so he has actually thanked Karthik and said that thank you for bringing this in. Okay, and you've correctly summarized that this is a legacy vector, and this is undoubtedly a time to move on from regressive beliefs. He used this word. Okay, and he has also mentioned that there is a campaign that they did which says "Ghar sabka to kaam hi sabhi ka." Okay, they've done this campaign, and this is a YouTube video. So if you look at it, there is a campaign which has talked about everybody doing work, because it's pandemic times. It's not just the women. It's no more about women. Okay, and he has mentioned that I'm pleased to inform you that you will see the new the logo change in a few months down the line, very clearly. So it's really nice that people are listening, and they're becoming gender sensitive. Okay, and they're moving in that direction. It's no more about Black Lives Matter. That was one campaign that happened. So these things are happening. Okay, I'm just talking about the sensitivities the brands need to look at. But you won't believe what happened after this. Actually, if you start looking at regressive beliefs, okay, there was a hashtag that started coming out. A lot of people started wearing bindis, and they took photographs, and they put a question mark. Do I look regressive to you? Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's how people perceive things, and how it's being portrayed, and how it's being presented matters all the time. All the time. What kind of people will pick up how you present things? It's very different in today's world. So that's something that we actually need to look into.
And I think this is why marketing has a very important role to play in the product design, because marketing is the voice of the customer. Right, so there may be something that the product design people may have, not really paid enough attention to, or they may have inadvertently done something, right, without thinking it through. And the marketing people, because they are aware of the sentiments of their customers, can help the product designers at this time. And in fact, in all the organizations now, the organizations that believe in innovation, who have understood that we are past the mass marketing era and now we have to do different things to attract people, are bringing the product designers and marketers together so that this can be achieved.
Definitely. I think that's the takeaway. That's the big takeaway for brands, where marketing, sales, corporate communication, internal communication, all these people, anybody who's involved in communication for the brand needs to get together and put their heads together before they can, communicate anything outside. Okay. Here is Oreo, my favorite, when it comes to Instagram. I mean, look at this.
I thought when it comes to eating.
I eat, yes.
But eating also, man.
Yes, definitely. I mean, this is one brand, yeah. They started out with just being cookies. Okay, and today you have got Oreo milkshake, which is everywhere, from the small kirana store, the juice shop, till the biggest of the hotels and restaurants. They serve you Oreo everywhere. Oreo, the ice cream, Where have we forgotten that? Like the whole tub comes home all the time. Okay, it's awesome. Have you tasted it, Monica? No, you haven't you?
No.
No, yes, I knew it, but you should. So Oreo is everywhere, and I love it. I mean, not just Instagram. Okay, they're supposed to be like everywhere, but
Yeah,
this
they're excellent in their social media marketing.
right. I mean, look at this, the way they present things. It's not just about their product, even though the product is generally present everywhere. Okay, but this is awesome. The way they portray things is, say, the way
Yeah,
they
it's like a
present.
story.
Yes, all the time. The way they tell about their brand and talk about it and how they relate to the community. Okay, it's, see, you've got product images, no doubt about it. Okay, but it's not always about product.
And they
Okay,
have that kind of crazy fan following, right? Like you could
I mean,
probably
look
see
at
people
this.
with Oreo, you could get Oreo tattooed on your
Yes,
arm or something. Yeah?
3 million
Like people get the
followers.
Harley Davidson and they get that logo tattooed on their arm. I mean, that is
Yes,
a crazy kind of fan
following
following
that
they
they have.
have, right? So Oreo has a similar one.
Yes, definitely yes.
And people are often fans of their content, even if they may not like the cookie so much. Like I'm a fan of their content.
Definitely. A
I'm
lot
not a
of
fan
people.
of their cookies.
Definitely. I mean, it's really amazing how they put things together. I have loved their content. It's beautiful. And yes, I'm a fan of their
Yeah.
cookies as well. I love them. They're so
Yeah. Okay.
yum. Okay, so yes, Oreo is definitely one of those brands who's done like really, really well.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Like
one thing I wanted to bring in here, Mansi, because
Mhm.
we are focusing on what small businesses can do. Sometimes when small businesses are looking at pages like this, they think that, okay, these guys have the necessary resources and the people and the budgets to manage something like this. I cannot do it.
Right. That's a
So
misconception.
how would you address that?
See, I think when you look at the bigger brands, their content calendar will not look like, okay, today is Monday, let's do Monday motivation. Okay, today is Thursday, so let's do throwback Thursdays. It's not like that. It's never driven by, I mean, it's definitely contextual, no doubt. But they have their campaigns, they mark out their campaigns, and they don't push something every day. You don't need to publish content every day. Okay, start thinking, like, let's be very careful about uh, what is going out, how we're going to put things together, how we're going to talk to the people. Okay, see, colors layout is one, okay, but is that the right context? Are you listening to the people enough? Like, I've seen people where it's pandemic times and it says, yes, this is the time to buy our product. Why? Where is the empathy? Okay, so at the end of it, how much do you relate to your people, and the empathetic part takes over. Most of these brands I have seen, they do like 10-12 posts in a month, not more than that, but the posts that they do are amazing. Okay,
Yeah.
and I think if you're doing 12 posts in a month, I think everybody has time for this. Okay, even if you're the smallest of the businesses using probably a Canva on your phone, okay, I think you have time for it. There is always a call to action, there is an appeal to it. Okay, and how you market it afterwards, it's not just the creatives, right? Just putting up creatives is not going to help. How you market things after that also matters. Do you share it in your groups? Have you shared it with your friends? What do they feel about it? Are you listening enough to the customers, not just your customers, your prospects, or just your friends and family? So I want to make it a point to tell people that don't focus on quantity. Please focus on quality. Just have enough for people to reach you.
Yeah. And don't focus on your product or your service only.
I know we want to
Focus
sell.
on the people you are addressing and what that product means to them.
Exactly.
How it will change them, how it will change that. I mean, if you could focus on that and see, today, getting help is not that expensive. You
Definitely.
cannot expect a certain quality without being willing to, invest anything in it. You want to invest zero, but you want that quality. That doesn't work. So that is something I really want to appeal to the small businesses. Get the right people to help you at the right time. If you expect results, if you want to grow at a certain scale, you cannot do without that.
Very true. Very
So
true.
it's, and now it is possible because tools have become so accessible. You have college interns willing to work for a very low amount just so that they can get the experience. So tap into these opportunities and get people on board, and they can turn into your employees tomorrow, right? Because uh, that may happen, but the thing is, like, you have to open yourself to this, that okay, I'm not going to get anything unless I'm willing to put something in. That is important to understand from, because the saddest thing which I see is where people think that digital marketing really is going to be a miraculous tool. So as Mansi was saying, you come into social media saying that it should get me sales, right? Digital marketing is also marketing. It also has a similar kind of funnel to regular marketing. You don't go into an event and say that, okay, I am going to stand here and keep talking about my product and people are going to come to me and they will purchase from me. It doesn't happen, right? So you have spent time, you go to other kiosks, you build relationships, you talk to people, you tell them about your product. I mean, it takes time, right? And then, so it's the same thing, it's just through digital mediums, but it is not a magical wand.
Very
I
true.
just wanted to, and that is so important to understand.
Yes, completely. See, I mean, there are businesses who have come and made sales from their first time itself, but that also depends on the context. Right now, I can see a lot of educational softwares that are into education field. Okay, they give you a platform to put up your video, to sell your content online in terms of classes. Okay, these people have come in and they're seeing sales, because they are actually riding on a wave that's already been created. This pandemic gave
Exactly.
rise to that wave. Okay, otherwise, I mean, see their predecessors. Okay, they have been here for like last 3 years, and that's when they made their mark. Okay, so it also depends on the context. I totally agree, but then these contexts don't come often. People have to
Mm.
understand this, brands have to understand this,
Yeah.
small businesses have to understand this. One is you have to be consistent with your content. You can't post today and then do it like a month later and then 3 months later. It won't work. I mean, I've heard most of the brands that say, yeah, I've opened a LinkedIn account about 2 years ago. I'm like, what did you do with it? Oh, nothing, it's
Mm.
there. So these things will not work. Okay, even if you put up one post a month, make it a one post a month, and make it, I mean, ensure that you actually market it really well. Okay, that's okay to put it out, put up like one post a month, or as I said, 10, 12 posts a month, one post a day, or one post every alternate day. Depends what business that you're in, but look at the quality and look at the engagement. um,
And the thing is that if you want to do social media marketing, then you should be able to have the resources for it. No, like, it's like you want something, but you're not willing to build the foundation for it.
very
I
true,
mean, that
very
doesn't
true.
work, right? So if you want to be on 4 platforms, you need to have either you invest in a paid tool and an expert,
Yes,
right? Who can actually do the different form of messaging which is required on different platforms, or you get the people on board and have a team of so many people who can actually manage it for you. But see, I have done this myself for many organizations where I am sending out the same message across platforms, because that is the amount of time I can put into it for the amount of money I am being paid for it. So
yes,
you
yes,
get what you pay for. That is,
right.
it is as simple as that. So
And
it's not that I don't know that I need to be different on different platforms, but the
exactly,
thing is that
exactly.
for that amount of payment, I just cannot do it. That applies to anybody, right?
Totally, totally, completely agreed on that. So yes, that's one part. I think I want to move to. Hold on, let me just share my screen. Uh, okay, check this out. This is Amul again on Facebook. In the pandemic times, they have come up with. Yesterday there was a live. I think, yeah, 12 hours ago, that was live. They are opening up live kitchens. They are going ahead and talking to chefs, because Amal has so many products. Okay, and anything that you want to cook, you would probably involve an Amal product. So they have opened this up where they're talking about simple homemade recipes, and there are plenty of chefs showing you what it is. So here you go. I mean, if you slowly scroll through this, their Facebook page, you will see that they have invited a lot of chefs to talk about it. Okay, and these are TV shows that are happening. Okay, or you also have people doing things at home. Okay, really nice. So I totally
Mm-hmm.
love this. I totally love this concept where you won't go away. I mean, you've moved from being that time where people used to spend a lot of time outside home, and now it's all to do with inside the house. And I love the way they change their messaging and the way they present themselves. It's not just that little Amul girl who comes up and talks about current affairs. It's a lot more than just that. It's about people now. Okay, so I think I loved what Amul did. Lot of homemade videos, home-based videos.
Mm.
I mean, it's natural, it's realistic. People can now relate to it. There is nothing like, makeup and made out, none of those things. Very real.
Mm.
It's all about people.
Yeah, and
So
this is something small brands can also do
yes,
easily
yes,
if they just
definitely,
think
yes.
it out, and I know there are so many small brands working in niche industries who are doing it, and they're doing it very well.
Yes, definitely, yes. So it's absolutely lovely to see their page, so much of engagement. Um,
Mm.
See, as much as I want to say that, these are like brands, B2C brands, which have done really well. There are a lot of B2B brands. But before I move to that, I just want to show you this as well. So we are only talking about products, but then services is something that we have to look into. But that's B2B. Um, I love this also. There's Getty Museum. Okay, they went out and said, we challenge you to recreate a work of art with objects and people in your house. Okay, and see
Mm.
what people actually came up with. It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. I'll just go to a couple of, look at this,
Mm.
just doing things at home, you know
Yeah.
look at this piece of art and look at this. Simple pieces of art. If you could understand that, it's a lockdown, it's during pandemic, people are at home and they are looking at safety. At the same time, it needs to be entertaining. It's really beautiful what these people can do, what these brands have done, what these businesses have done.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
And
with,
it encourages so much participation, which is
yes,
what you want, right? You
yes,
want to engage your audience.
yes. So it's really nice how these people have done things. Now, can you see this, Monica? I'm on Instagram right
Yeah.
now for Cognizant.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, okay. So look at Cognizant. I mean, we wanted to talk about B2B. See, Instagram is more of a platform which is meant for the youngsters, the Gen Y. Um, and it's really beautiful how Cognizant, which is a B2B, is able to even talk to that generation for that matter. Okay, I mean, tomorrow they'll have everything to do with it. But today, as such, this generation, which is into education, has nothing to do with Cognizant. I mean, in terms of products and services, right? Whether they're going to use their services at all. But the way they have engaged with everybody in the world, they have talked a lot about, how they've engaged with the community and what have they done, and how they have ensured that they have used cross section of people, how they have
Mm-hmm.
been in touch with the cross section of people. So it's really beautiful.
Mm.
So Cognizant is awesome. And one more company that I wanted to talk about was definitely Intuit. Have you heard about Intuit?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So they have a lot of products to do with tax, to do with money. Let's put it that way. Not just tax, but to do with money. So if you look at their products, yes, a lot is to do with their products, but some is to do with their people who are working in that company. Okay, and
Mm-hmm.
people around them, their customers, and they do a lot of these digital events, so you get to talk to people also. Their
Mm-hmm.
mix is good, the content mix is good. Of course, presentation is definitely one, but more than that, the format of content itself is good. You've got just images, you've got videos, you've got
Mm.
everything to do with their product, lot of things. So it's really beautiful. Not just this, I'll tell you why I liked Intuit on LinkedIn. You won't believe it. Even employees, like corporate communications and marketing, all these people also share a lot that is happening in the company when it comes to Intuit. So I totally love them
Mm.
because everybody is pushing content and publishing content which are relevant to them. Again, these are not people who will, just because there's a product image or a product video on their page, they'll just share it. No, no, it's about something that's relevant to them. Hey, see what I did with my friend today. Hey, see what happened in the office today. So these are things that are published, and then they allow their employees. The social media policy, I think, is good. They allow their employees to, talk about things. So I've totally loved them.
Mm.
So these are certain brands that I
Yeah.
can think of when it comes to social media who have done a good job. I'm sure there are a lot of other small businesses who are also doing good job, especially those that are selling, accessories or bakers, home bakers. I mean, I've seen
Mm.
a lot of these people use social media really, really well. So
Yeah.
yes,
And a takeaway from what you just showed with Intuit is also, I feel that it is very, when it comes to social media specifically, it's very important to involve your employees. See, all the employees are active socially. They are there. They know what connects with them and what they enjoy themselves. So you should definitely take their inputs on what you think should be on your social media platforms. That is one. But also involve them and make them your content co-creators on that space. Because, for example, if you have developers in your organization and they are doing something really well and they are talking about it on their page, why not showcase their talent on your company page as well? They are your employees, right? So it's like you're standing by them, you're standing by their talent. A lot of organizations, unfortunately, especially in many smaller organizations, are very insecure about certain aspects of their business. For example, let's not talk about who our clients are, let's not talk about who our employees are, because they're afraid of somebody poaching them. And my question to you honestly is this, that I understand that the price game is a very important thing, especially in the smaller business side. It happens many times, but you kind of have to have that confidence in your customer relationship. Like, have you built that? See, everybody's not engaged with you simply because you are there at the lowest price. If that is your only USP, then anyway you're not going to last, right?
not long, not
It's
long
just
for
not
sure.
going to happen. It has to be more than that. And there are organizations who have been in the field for years and still having that kind of inhibition. Then you cannot work on the social media. You cannot.
Right.
Social media is just being social on digital platforms. That is all there is to it. If you were like that in your actual physical relationships as well, your personal relationships as well, you would not exactly be able to generate that kind of community, because it just does not give
It
those
doesn't
kind of vibes.
doesn't work. Just doesn't work over a period of time. It will
Yeah.
not work. See, as we said, yeah, I mean, awareness and recall is one. Then there's something called loyalty,
Hmm.
right? So try going to the remote parts of India, okay? Geo and BSNL. It's like the
Hmm.
heart of every house. You can show them an
Yeah.
Airtel, you can show them a Vodafone, and they will say, please go home, right?
Hmm.
So it's not like Airtel doesn't work there. It's not like Vodafone doesn't work there, okay? But then they were loyal to BSNL, and now with Geo and their data and all that stuff, now they're loyal to Geo. So
Hmm.
loyalty is a factor that you will have to, see. I'll give you a good example. I used to work with a brand called Cakewala. Okay, now Cakewala is from Mayura Bakers, and they have been here for, oh God, years now, years.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
And they're everywhere.
yes, exactly. I mean, you've got Cool Joint, you've got Ishania, you've got Namura Hotel. I mean, they are a set of people who are businesses just about everywhere. Okay, Kenola is also theirs, by the way. So when I went and wanted to start working with them, they were very clear. No to advertising. I'm like, how?
Hmm.
Like, you're making it regressive. This is regressive, right? You're taking me like 10 steps backwards, and you are not advertising. They're like, no, you just wait. We will grow slowly. Okay, we're going to completely do things organic. I'm like, okay, we'll give it a thought. Yes, as much as I want to say I am an advocate of organic growth, okay, like 70% of it has to be organic for me. Okay, another 30% to give that initial boost, at least to reach people. But
Hmm.
Cakewala is one brand which has grown on Facebook or on Instagram with zero money. I can tell you this, with almost zero money.
Okay, that's
Okay.
interesting.
Yes, yes. I mean, and I started believing in these things once I started. It's been like 6 7 years now that I've been working with the brand, and it's beautiful. It's awesome. It's awesome the way we have been able to move people from just we talking to them, from they talking to us. Okay, there's this form of engagement on every post that you put up, and they talk about it. Like we did a whole series of immunity boosters in the last like a month and a half. We just gave them what is immunity boosters, like things that you have at home that you can help to boost your immunity. So those are the kind of posts that went out. It has very less to do with the product. It is more to do with the customers who walk in, who've been there with us for a very long time. And the thought that goes out to every product that's been introduced, the chefs, the way it is sold, the marketing people on ground, the managers of the stores, they all come together and they give you a feedback. So it's such a well organized thing that it just comes to you, and they participate. The ground level content that used to come to me is from the managers. They would take a call on what can be put out there. So it was a really beautiful ecosystem that was built over a period of time, and we grew from like nowhere. Yeah, I mean, we were like 500 600 when we started out, and it is today 15,000 strong. And imagine, none of them are from paid. Okay, they are all organic. They have followed this page organically. So it's really, really beautiful how
That's a very inspiring story. Yeah.
it is, definitely is. Okay, and thanks to the founders, thanks to the CEO, and mind you, CEO belongs to this generation where he's on Instagram and he does a lot of things, and you won't believe it. The CEO went all the way to different countries where bakery as a business was born. They learned things there and then came back. The whole of European technology can be seen at Kekwala. So these are things that people do. So what I feel is that if you really want to build a strong brand, how proud of you are of your business, okay, and how much efforts you have put in to make it as authentic as possible, at the same time sensible, no? Okay, and how much can you relate to the customers? Here in Kekwala, customer is the king, the queen. They are always right. Okay, that's how we look after them. See, they used to have constant problems with delivery. Okay, the cakes would be delivered and it would probably be a little bit of icing is gone. See, it's not our fault. When we actually put the cake out there, okay, it was right. When it left the store, it was right. So you get it delivered from Swiggy and Zomato. I don't have any control over it. Okay, so when people would come back and say, hey, my icing was gone, it was never about, you should ask Swiggy, you should ask Zomato, why are you asking us? It was never about that. It was always about regret the inconvenience caused. You're my customers, right? I should have found a better partner, right? It's the onus is still on the brand. So I love the way they would message things. I love the way they would involve me just as a consultant. I was a simple consultant there for social media, and they would involve me in everything. Even answering a post that went out, they would involve me and ask, okay, now how do we message this out? So it was really beautiful how the entire ecosystem worked for them. So
this is like building a culture, right?
Exactly.
And that kind of spills over on everything. Your digital assets also become part of that. So that's wonderful, because if you have clarity on how you want to be perceived and what you want to be known for, and what are the things that you stand by, and if you ensure that everybody who comes on board is aware of that, and then you can place confidence on them to do their work really well, understanding the constraints within which they have to work or whatever. But how beautifully do you do? I mean, this is such a great way, of building a team, I would say, because then that team takes ownership, right? Because you also place that confidence on them. Yeah. And you feel that, okay, I own the Insta thing. It's my thing. I need, you get that feeling. So
always.
That's wonderful.
Yeah,
wonderful.
It's always nice. Those are this is why I say that, when people come to me and say, hey, we want digital marketing, especially during this pandemic times, I've got like hundreds of calls. And when they ask me, what do you do? I'm like, I believe in organic growth for social media, and I look at brand standardization. That's exactly what I specialize in. And they're like, yeah, I have 1 lakh budget. What can we look at in terms of impact and sales? I'm like,
Mm.
I will put you across to the person who can give you the best ROI when it comes to sales. That's exactly what I've answered this with. So when you're constantly looking at sales, yes, sales is a factor. Yes, that's probably the destination. But how much
Mhm.
effort are you willing to put in? And these are not even established brands. These are people who just want to start. Okay, I've had people with hand sanitizers come in, and these are people who have not had time. They're so involved in their businesses, they have not had time to think this through. Okay, and they're like, okay, if I put 100 rupees, how much business will I make? Can you boost post? I'm like, do you even understand what boost post means? Why don't you use Facebook Business Manager to advertise on Instagram for 5 liter hand sanitizers? I'm like, sure, we will do that. I mean, it will work, no doubt about it. But why is it that they have to buy it from you and not from somebody else? Okay, and how much effort have you put in to ensure that people really want hand sanitizers, and what is your USP? They've got great products, great USP. I mean, hand sanitizers, I've seen people, they've got 85% alcohol in their hand sanitizers. This is a good thing when it comes to, if you look at the hand sanitizers that everybody uses, there is 35%, 40%, 60%. So those things might not even help for Corona. Okay, great products, no doubt, but your understanding of social media is so skewed that please go to somebody who will just take away all your money and advertise and tell you this is what it is. That's it, over. So it's such
Yeah,
a
so
short-term
that's
thing.
just see, we have marketing and advertising. It's not so it's advertising and it is marketing. So when you're hiring a marketer, you're not hiring an advertiser. If you want to go
Exactly.
down that road, please do.
Yes.
If that is how you want to grow. But if you're looking at marketing, you must understand marketing is not advertising.
It's all about that
Right?
effort to build a brand. So it's really beautiful. And see, I come from that corporate communication background where the first thing we were taught is your internal publics are as important to you as your external publics. Okay, and I believe in that. If you have got your employees, if they can have your back, nothing like it. Okay, the way you
True.
grow
If
is an
you can't even charge
exponential
up
growth.
your own employees about your product and service,
It
how
won't
can you
work.
expect anybody outside to feel,
Right.
wowed about it?
So it's we start with that. We start with internal first. It has to become a habit. It has to become
Mm.
an attitude. Okay, that's how I start with saying that, how many employees do you have? How many people do you think? It's always people power. We will look at the money power later. Okay, it's your people power that matters. It is social media. It's not money media. It is social media.
Right. That's a very good way to put it. I like it.
Thank you. So, thank you so much, Monica. I think I've enjoyed this conversation. When it comes to brands and when it comes to their social media presence and looking at how they fare, I have always loved
Yeah.
it. Yeah, always loved it. Small little things which have like really big impacts. It's a feel good factor for so many customers. I think I've always enjoyed conversations on this. So, thank you for your time and thank you for making me do this every 15 days because I really enjoy it, and this domino effect stays for the next 15 days. So I have
Yeah.
loved it. I'm
I
happy about
told
it.
you we should have started earlier.
Yes, yes, I know, but better late than
But
never. Yes. And
absolutely.
for those of you who are watching, yes, you can also be a part of this conversation. If you have opinions on this, yes, you're welcome to be a part of this conversation as long as you have something really nice to talk about, which has not been spoken about in the industry earlier. So that's one part of it. Secondly, if you are an entrepreneur, if you are a small and medium enterprise who wants to look at social media in a very different way of building a brand, of engaging people, building relationship with customers, then Monica and myself, that's Mansi, the M&M girls are always here to help you. Whichever domain you belong to, whichever field you belong to, if you feel digital marketing is something that you want to take up or you've been there and you want to change it, we are the people to come to. So you can get in touch with us on Digi India Squad. That's DIGIINDIASQUAD at gmail.com. We are also available on Instagram, on Facebook, on LinkedIn, or Twitter, you name it, and we're there. Okay, so please do get in touch with us. And I'm sure you have comments, you have your opinions on the conversations that we have made. There are a lot of other brands that you know which have done really well. So all you have to do is leave it in the comment section below, and we are happy to take that up and talk to you about it. Brands are always interesting. Yeah. So thank you so much for watching, and do get in touch with us. Thank you, Monica. And
Thanks, Mansi, and thank you guys for watching.
Perfect.
And
we'll be
we
back
look forward
in
to hear
15
from
days.
you.
Yes, just another 15 days. We'll be back with a brand new episode. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Stay safe.